now, I've talked a number of times since Sam fall of 2019, like a bunch of times, usually in the first day. Um, but only this semester have I felt confident enough to be able to talk about crime during COVID. And the reason I'm only just now confident enough to talk about crime during COVID is exactly for those issues that I mentioned previously, is that science takes time. And also it takes a little bit of like impassioned emotional distance. So like COVID was very like weird, obviously. And it was a time when not all scientific arguments were given the weight they deserved because it was such a highly emotionally charged, highly political kind of experience. So there are certain types of like lines of inquiry that were just not available to scientists in the moment. So like that, in addition to the fact that the science takes time, and careful scientific theorizing and analysis takes time, and the question of data safety. Those all things combined inevitably delayed the ability of people like me to be able to form comprehensive conclusions about what crime during the pandemic looks like. So like, what does crime look like in 2024? Like, so no, right? What does crime look like in 2023? It's like, like pushing it, right? What we can talk about, relative levels, is what crime looked like during 2020. We can talk about that and think about it. So what emerged as a result of the pandemic was what some people call, this is a great example, the largest criminological experiment in history. The largest criminological experiment. I'm not gonna have it. What has been argued largest experiment in history? The COVID-19 pandemic was a kind of natural experiment. We can talk about what happened basically immediately leading up to it and then immediately following. And it's going to be relatively uncorrelated with other things. So we're able to assess before and after, and then hopefully get some insights on the different human behavior. Not only, there's all different kinds of things that we can look at. That's kind of there's so many ways that we can think about the pandemic and how it's related to human beings, human nature, social order. All of these things we can think about now, especially now that we have a little bit more temporal and emotional distance from the pandemic. We can look at it and be a little bit more objective about what happened. We can collect data, and there were obviously data collections that were going on during that time. We can collect information during it to assess the effects of different types of law, different types of policies, different types of rules and guidelines, which didn't actually have the effect of law, but was sort of based on social confusion. We can look at all that. So basically, what we have observed, and this seems really clear, maybe not really clear, that's quite hard, pretty true, recently, is that a few things happened with regard to crime during the pandemic. Certain types of crime are really went up, like retail theft. For a while there, really went up, probably due to reduced opportunity. I think there were also residential burglaries that we need to find as well. There were a few types of crime that increased. One of those types of crimes that increased was domestic violence. And we know this by increases in calls for service. I have some research back in the period that demonstrated that calls for service for domestic violence cases, and I think it was Gallup, what's the information, on like day by day, week by week, ready to collect that information, assess that domestic violence calls for refusers or anything, especially in the weeks following kind of all the shutdown and stuff. But in addition to domestic violence, homicide, assault with a firearm, and auto theft also increased. Whereas most other crime types kind of stay the same or now we're able to assess that. We're able to demonstrate empirically that those things happen. The key question now is, and I think this is a really interesting criminological thought experiment because you kind of know at this point you lived through COVID, but also you know a lot about technological theories. And so as a result, you were able to kind of think about and speculate why this might be. So I posed a question on Hacknet yesterday, I think it was, as to why crime in general might have gone up a little bit during 2020, especially these types of crime, this sport types, in the latter 2020. And I want to know if you have any initial thoughts, some potential speculation that comes to your mind right now. Things that might explain why that happened, especially in light of like some of the theories that we talked about. Anything that initially. Yes. Yeah, why the homicide rates went up, like violence rates went up. Yeah. And that the idea that you become frustrated with like the people that you're living with, it's for many people, including me, and it's like that is a kind of strange, right? That fits within that odd framework of general negative stuff, fiction with negative stimuli. Certainly, absolutely. Other things that yes. Yeah, that's right. So there's an element of criminal opportunity here as well. Um, Especially for things like auto theft, this kind of makes a lot of sense because of the age crime curve for auto theft. You follow the age crime curve generally. It's a lot of like kids doing it. So it kind of makes sense where you have more parental or familial supervision, you're going to have less criminal opportunity. Yeah, certainly. Um, Other thoughts, other things that can work. You miss school? So, no. No. You go to church and you miss church.
No.
All types of city constitutions that function normally. And those constitutions, as we talked about, have written some goals. The goal maybe involve placing limits on that limits aspect. When those institutions no longer exist, or maybe disputes. Um, it's hard to get on to. I mean, Zoom meetings are brutal compared to Zoom talks a little bit. It's just and yeah, we're both figures. We need it. So there's an argument to be made from kind of a control theory angle that those fishing being less effective would be consequential as well. What about that's an argument? Yeah. Certainly, I would think times with this word, the word just considered, you know, how did that work? Yeah. So it seems like a really good question, putting a bunch of pieces together, and then the it seems like, as we mentioned, the rather linear relationship between adolescent employment and involvement in crime seems to be related to COVID. And there was a lot of crime that did in fact go down. In fact, probably went down during the pandemic. So you could probably explain that to adolescents being less able to get out. Um, I don't know if there's any research out tying adolescent involvement in work to these four specific, not like domestic violence, to homicide. We don't know super much about homicide in the first place. Um, a lot of reasons, some of which is like you do a sample and you sample what they did in high school and go on with that. So the way in which we typically collect information about individuals, like population, say, not going to get a lot of homicide in the right? So we mostly know about this really random subcontinent really select subset of homicide offenders who so most of what we know about homicide comes from people who've been in prison, homicide, been convicted of. So it's possible, it's certainly possible that maybe you saw a reduction in certain types of criminal opportunity, but maybe gang activity in particular was sort of less dissuaded from occurring as a result of the lockdown. It's a really good thought. I don't know. I have no idea. Now listening to the any other thoughts? That's a good potential selection in criminal involvement about already. Other thoughts? Well, give it some thought. Again, I posted a poll about this on Hackback, I think yesterday. You're welcome to respond to that one if you want to. Or again, great comments today. But that's all I have to say today.